I'm coming for you, you...
Gotta leave the city, but I leave the city to the roof. Lord forgive them for what they do, not know what they do. Lord forgive them for what they do, not know what they do. Just sold 100 CDs to them iPhones. Watch me drop a move on the streets to make it happen. Second time the charm, said it could have been yours, but you weak and we ain't rocking.
my mic's muted. This must be a 4-star area. Didn't realize my mic was muted. I don't know how long that's been going on. Freaking ghost town here. Isn't this an alarm? No? Looks like an alarm right there. I think it is, though. It isn't. For a place that has nobody around, I sure haven't conquered it yet. Look at that supply drop. Yeah, whatever.
Is it Robert?
No, I think I have no idea. Shelly, maybe? I don't know.
Hello?
Just hang it up. I couldn't hear it very well, but I could hear it enough that you
I
didn't
know
need to
it was.
talk
Just
who the
don't
hell
let
that
the-
was.
Just don't let it stop you from voting. Is that covered this time?
Two left. through some gates. This way. Oh my god, this is actually literally a prison here. I'm shocked. I don't want that. Must be how I got down here. Oh wow. Unbelievable. Huh. Hmm. I've gained no ground whatsoever. Sorry, I entered into this area from the front. swore I came in this way. Oh, good lord. Freaking nighttime. There you go. Alright.
And I laid it on the line, no fault, the earth moved, I sunk in, there it is. Somewhere along I buried it, still don't have that figured out. Now I'm digging out and I dig in, gun packed and trying to get that hunt back and I need to kill.
Yeah, how come my name's above yours on the list?
I don't know.
Epic hasn't been in this party since, like, 2 days ago.
Oh.
Do you see that? I don't understand it either. There, with the Epic hasn't been in here since like 2 hours ago, 2 days ago, and they were getting ready to go to 48 hours that the party's been active, and he hasn't been in it. at all.
Huh.
Not weird.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. I'm recording New
Yeah.
Dawn.
I gotcha.
And, I'm in a foggy region. I can't see the road. It's what it was like this morning driving over here to the farm.
Yeah. It was somewhat foggy this morning, but it cleared up.
You know, it was 10 o'clock and still too foggy to drive. There with, I mean, it wasn't like, oh my god, I can't see at all, but it was, you needed headlights and you couldn't run over 40 miles an hour. It's next week.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm currently working on my trader in Red Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up moving my camp to the Great Plains.
Yeah, that's where I got mine. The swamp area, LeGras, the swamp area, that's a better place. By far, a way better place.
Okay.
But I've got it there because I'm in no hurry, and I don't really care.
Oh. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And LaGrasse is a better place. LaGras is a better place for the Moonshiner Shack too, because almost all your Moonshiner missions are in the swamp.
I gotcha.
But like I said, I'm in no hurry. I just wanted to get all the things unlocked, and I have achieved what my goal was. With, like I told Lord last night, that there at the, I want to.
Should I put it in Scarlet Meadows?
Where's Scarlet Meadows?
Lemoyne.
Lemoyne. It's not ringing a bell. What's the nearest town?
I don't know. I'm currently in the camp location map.
I'd say
Or should I
Lemoyne
put it-
would be the swamp area, because it's all French down through there.
Yeah.
So
Or
that's
there's the
Lemoyne.
Bayou and Wa.
Yeah. No, it'd probably be the Bayou then.
Alright.
Because what it is where you're at is full of alligators, and you can just walk out and be completely surrounded by alligators. And since you're surrounded by alligators, you can just, you know, bang, 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 and they never run, and they don't care that the guns are going off, and it's just that much easier. That way.
I'm gonna serve you up for breakfast!
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Another long day done.
No. It wasn't me. It was the one darn man. A long time since I've seen The Mask.
God, I haven't seen The Mask or The Son of the Mask in ages.
So,
Yeah. Son of the Mask was pretty funny.
it wasn't as good as The Mask.
Yeah. Jim Carrey is the one that makes it hilarious.
Yeah, the whole storyline's funny. Even if it wouldn't have been Jim Carrey would have been funny.
Yeah, good point.
It just, as long as it was as long as it was a decent actor that done it, it wouldn't have mattered, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody who took the comedy serious, and Jim Carrey's just a tall, skinny loony.
Yeah. Looney is what he is, that's for damn sure.
But people like warm up to tall, skinny people. There with the even when they're because a lot of people, even when they're only like 5'8", if they're skinny build, people think they're tall.
I gotcha.
And me, I'm like 6 foot, but I'm thick as a trunk. And people don't think I'm tall. They think I'm short.
Hmm.
And of course, baggy clothes don't help, but I wear the baggy clothes on purpose because people get upset around me. And making myself look short and fat helps keep them calm. If I wear skin tight clothes and clothing that doesn't make me look short, they get upset easier and over even the littlest things, especially males. Some females as well, but especially males.
Four out of 9 antique alcohol bottles found. What else is in there?
I think it's my curse. When I get around people, their brains start functioning, and nobody likes that.
Oh, that's creepy. That rocking chair is moving on its own. Oh, never mind. It stopped. I just probably hit it. Oops.
Yeah, Rockstar doesn't even know its own potential. The things I could be doing with Rockstar's gameplay. Red Dead would be a good one for it. They didn't even touch the insanity that I could do with that.
I'm sure you could make this game entirely different.
Yeah, they're going for the zombie thing, which is unbelievably stupid, but whatever. They're with the storyline, man. Storyline. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's the same way with Bethesda and their gameplays, and there with Far Cry here with Ubisoft. They're not too bad, but they're starting to like run the same script over and over and over again.
I gotcha.
They just don't understand. It's like,
Good morning. Even though it's afternoon. Where in the hell? Aha! I found the Six of Wands tarot card. 3 out of 14.
Dude,
I
I've
found
never
2
made it
things
to
in that
14.
cabin. That's interesting.
The most I've ever made
Hmm?
it to is 8. The most I've ever made it to is 8.
That's why there's the internet.
Yuck, 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 yuck. Yeah, I was giving these kids, I jumped into a random party. We were,
I'm allergic to dogs!
and they were trying to find something to do where they can play, PvP with each other and still make accomplishments. So I took them on a train ride to unlock the how far you travel train bonus. And when I did that, I was explaining to them the train. When I went by the falls, I was like, 600 Native Americans died, so we could have this train go by the falls. And then when we got to the tunnels, I was like, 800 men died while digging out this tunnel, so we could have a train that goes through this tunnel. Stuff like that.
Jesus, dude.
And those kids were all like, what the hell? I was
Hey,
like,
you gotta mess them up early, I guess.
I was like, well, it's the truth. That's what kind of stuff happened back then. It's not a lie. That's the kind of stuff that happened back then. Those Native Americans would have been camped out around the falls, and they would have been using it to hunt and fish and stuff. And then the cavalry would have came in and told them to move. And if they wouldn't have moved, they would have came in and killed every one of them. Just so the railroad track could go by that falls. And then when you dig a tunnel outside of a rock bluff like that, you have to dynamite and you have to move the rock. And during that process, disease, famine, actual death, disagreements, starvation. There's lots of things there with the 800 men would not be anything more than a Tuesday when it comes to that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that happened. In one of my little investigations and stuff, there was this area they were looking for something. I don't remember what they were looking for, but they found an old mining camp, and it was by the railroad track, and they thought it was part of the mine shaft, not part of the railroad track. And they started doing some investigation, and while they're investigating the mine and stuff, they found an area between the railroad track and the mine that was all like quarried rock laying on the ground. So they decided, what's this quarry rock for? And so they started going through the quarry rock to see, how deep it is, and there with landfill or something. What is it? And underneath the quarry rock, they found something like 200 or 300 Chinese people that had been shot in executional style and thrown in that hole and then buried over.
Wow.
There.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, and the Chinese and Koreans and Vietnamese and Asians is what built the railroad track from St. Louis to Los Angeles. If it wasn't for the Asians, we wouldn't have a railroad track. And it was basically slave labor when they done it. Ever since I joined party, my controller starts shutting on and off.
Strange.
No. Yeah, where am I at on the map?
I just got a 3-star wild boar.
Really?
Yeah. And it was
Is
right
she
next to my
rich?
camp too.
Is she rich?
Ha 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 ha. Funny.
Oh, she isn't rich, then she's just gonna remain a bore.
Oh my gosh.
And then, if you choose to, your children will probably be a bore as well. And, 3 stars, it's only fading, eventually their body will go when they have children. And then as
Oh
they get
my God.
older, it's just everything starts sagging and drooping and
You have a messed up sense of humor, my friend.
yeah. And you said it was already wild. I mean, do you really think you can tame a wild boar? I mean, they are wild and they are boring. It's so impossible to get the wingsuit to operate on this game. I mean, it's like it's limited to a certain area and that's it. It's kind of irritating how it doesn't work. Where'd that alarm go? And it always does. Other side of the compound, really? No, 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 no! Damn it.
Ah, shit, I missed.
Damn it. Stupid boars. Totally ruined it. Who had lured him this time?
Oh, I caught an 11-ounce perch. Nice. Another perch. Oh, it's a 1 pound, 2 ounce perch. Nice. Yay, I have level 8 health.
much care for Eden's old war model. But they got some things
Sorry about that, Jimmy the Twisted Ape. Yeah, it was in history class there with the what was it called? The Continental
Congress?
no, where they built the two railroad tracks to meet. They started in
Oh,
California
shit.
and built.
Oh, the Continental Railroad.
Yeah, and then from St. Louis to and there with they were off a little bit because the surveyors were idiots, and oh man, it was such a. I did a book report on it, and the majority of the railroad company was built by slaves, former slaves, and the Asians. There was a mixture of which Asians there was. There was some Native Americans involved with this whole part of the slavery part. It was just a great big huge cover up, and there's not even I don't think there was even a guesstimated number of how many Chinamen were killed during the construction of the railroad. But the hardest portion of it, which was the portion through the Rocky Mountains, which involved all the digging, all the moving of rock, and all that stuff was basically done by Chinese, Asians, whatever. The majority of them was Chinese, per to the history books. When I was teaching school, most of that stuff had been completely covered up, and there with the history of America was so vague and sugar coated. I don't even know why they were even bothering teaching it. It was so vague and sugar coated. And sorry it took me so long. I don't think he's even watching my video now. Sorry it took so long. I didn't even see your thing. I was concentrating on the game. It happens. If I remember, I'll try to reply to your comments in YouTube itself. I'm not capable of doing that here with what I've got. I'm not for sure why yet. It's on my list. If I ever get to actually sit down somebody that actually has a say over this kind of stuff, and that's one of the first things there with the whole option button there with the comments right here with the blue screen part. I don't know. There with the my understanding, I don't even qualify to be the Chinaman that they shoot in the head and throw in a shallow grave. And speaking of which, there went my controller again.
Seems like Joseph shriveled into some kind. I don't feel safe since the attack on Prosperity. I'm getting exhausted since I can't sleep. Please, help us fix this.
Don't need that trouble.
I think I'm gonna call it right there to go and move on to the other games. I need to loot this place though. Man, I'm spinning like bad. I've got like no control over my controller. What in the world? Helicopters? Helicopters. Helicopters. They got a whole war zone thing going on over here. I better go check it out. Oh yeah. Also, on your question, with the Americans did not build their railroad, the Germans actually built the trains and owned the patent on the trains. But because the builders did not have a copyright and well, basically a government that protected them from the United States government, there's a group of rich businessmen who visited Germany and saw how the train was built, bought a German train, and then they copied the German train and started manufacturing the German train, which was basically stole the patent. And then they filed for the patent in the United States and got granted the patent in the United States. There was a whole bunch of like anger between the countries and everything over the whole thing. Some people believe that the whole rebellion in Germany that took down the kingdom there with I guess it would be the hierarchy rule of the government there, and actually initiated into the socialist democracy that it was before World War One. It was all because of stuff like the train and the automobile and stuff like that being stolen as a copyrighted or patent actual skilled labor that and the fact that the royal family was doing nothing or even trying to do anything about the government doing that. Of course, back then the laws were totally different, and there was no protection of such activities or anything. Now, per to the law, if you have a drawing or something and you're in the library and the notebooks in your possession at the library, and you get up from your table to go in to the other room to get a book, as long as you have a documentation of what the paper was in the notebook, anybody who comes forward with that documentation or anything similar to that documentation can spend anywhere between 2 and 10 years in prison for picking it up off the table while you're at the library. And you don't have to have a patent on it already. All you have to have is some form of documentation that it's yours. Anything from documentation in like a local newspaper, to documentation with a notary, to documentation of a separate recorded thing. The internet, when George W. Bush was in office, I don't know if it still is or not, because the Democrats, don't get me started on Democrats, but George W. Bush passed a law that protected anything anybody put on the internet from anybody stealing it. So you could put photographs and poetry and art you done, and you could put any of that stuff on the internet, and the image and the words and everything else was protected by the government itself on report only with George W. Bush. I brought the law up about 2 years ago, and I got yelled and screamed at that law didn't exist. And then about 2 months later, I got yelled and screamed at that law no longer applies, that the Obama administration appealed it and had it took off the record so that people could not post photos of their family on there without people stealing them, or they could not post poems that they wrote, or songs that they wrote, or paintings that they done, or drawings that they done, because when they put it on the internet, it becomes legal property of anybody they want. Now, eventually it gets to the point to where you're standing up to these people, and these people are the government, the local government, and the local government basically has no government over them, so there's nothing you can do. I mean, except get 6 officers with guns kicking in your door in the middle of the night and filling you full of bullets. That's basically the end of standing up to the government. The local government, at least. But yeah, anything you put on the internet, according to that ranting rage about how I needed to shut the hell up and take it like the person that I was born in as, I guess, there with however you want to put it. They basically said that if you take a picture of you and put it on the internet, anybody in the world can do anything they want to it, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. If you put a recording of you or your family on the internet, anybody in the world can do anything they want to that recording, and there's nothing you can do about it. You don't even have legal precedents, as they say, to do anything about it. You can't even file a lawsuit because they done something with it that's not your approval, because it's not legally yours because you put it on the internet, which is the exact opposite of the law they passed when George W. Bush was in office. Because when George W. Bush was in office, they passed a law that it was all you had to do was report it, and the United States government had a task force. That task force would then investigate it. If your claim was legit, it was originally your thing, which is not hard to find out, which is not hard to tell. Whoever had then took claim or alteration of it would then face charges by the United States government, which included a set of fines and possible 2 to 10 years in prison, depending on what they'd done. Then on top of that law, there are other laws that protects your images, your voice, your works, your writings, your paintings, your photographs, any of that stuff. There's other laws on top of that are also criminal laws. Plus, there's a long list of civil laws that once the government sees that you have a case, you can then, with even what's supposed to be an appointed attorney, can then prosecute for civil means on what had actually happened. Of course, the bureaucracy of everything is just a big nightmare, and like I said, the local governments have guns, the local governments can use the guns, and the local governments can do anything they want with the guns, and if you've got a problem with that, the federal government will send in their guns. And I have even met people who were worth so much money that they could buy my entire family, from every one of my brothers to all of my nieces and nephews to my aunts and uncles and great aunts and great uncles and cousins and everything else, and call it 2:15 in the afternoon on Tuesday. And they still have to bow down to the local government because the local government has guns. And the local government says. And the local government with guns say, and that's the end. Anyway. But yes, answer your question, yes. The United States government did not build their own. It was the private sector. The private sector hired Asian people with the promise of large sums of money, free land, and opportunities they were not granted. And at the end of the whole thing, mass murdering was the answer to having to pay them for their labor. Not to mention those that died along the way. And it was like 4th grade that they taught us that.
Wow.
And I am not finding the last of these stupid items I'm supposed to be looking for. Let me make sure I didn't pick them all up and didn't notice. Maybe I picked them all up and didn't notice.